Okay, today I'm going to show you how to create custom directory extension attributes that you can use with like dynamic groups, like adding, for example, like a cost center, um, kind of like the on-prem extension attributes, but this is for cloud-only users because we can't access on-prem attributes if the users are cloud-only. So you'll need to create custom directory extension attributes, and here's how you do it. First, you're going to need to create an app registration. I've already done this, but register it. Okay, you're going to need to create a secret. I don't care that you see the value. Store the value somewhere. You're going to need it. Then you got to go to API permissions, add a permission, graph, application permissions, and then this isn't by any means the rule of least privilege at all, but this is going to get it to work. If you want to figure out how to do it with least privilege, be my guest. User.read. User.read write all. And then you're going to need directory read write all. Okay, and then you're going to grant it admin consent. Now that you've created this app reg, you're going to need to go and give it the global admin role. Again, this is not least privilege. I was testing this. I've been working on this for a couple days. It's been tricky, but I did get it to work. So just come in here, global, and this, I was hung up on this for a while, but you're going to go in here and then add the app here. I don't even remember what I called it. Late night. Okay. There it is. And then you're just going to assign this global administrator. Sign. Okay. Okay. After you've added the global administrator permission to the app, you're going to come in here into Postman. You're going to need to download Postman. It's used for interacting with APIs, etc. You've probably heard of it if you've been doing this kind of work. You're going to post this exact link to an endpoint that's going to grab you a bearer token. You're going to need that bearer token to interact with the application. It's to authenticate. This here is where your tenant ID goes. So you come over to the overview and to Entra, and you can grab the tenant ID here. Just paste that in there, and then you're going to need client ID, scope, client secret, and grant type all in the key. And then the values here, this is going to be your app ID, and then this is going to be the endpoint or the scope of the endpoint that we're working with, and then here is that secret that you copied and pasted over into your notepad, and then your client credentials or client underscore credentials is the last value. And just click send. You should receive a bearer token, which you will then copy and paste it into your notepad. Now that we have the bearer token, we're going to go ahead and test that out. Go over to authorization, click the drop down, click bearer token, paste your token in here, the one we copied into the notepad there that we just got. And then be careful, this is quite annoying. I was a little confused as it was giving me a 404 for a while. This is not the app ID. This is actually the object ID of the app. So that was nice of Microsoft to do that. So you actually have to go over and copy, the object ID of the app. So that's the app ID, and then this is the object ID, of course. So that's nice and confusing. And then / extension properties. So there it is. And then once you have the token in there, we need a header, content-type, and then application JSON. And then we can send that, and we should get return. You may have nothing here. As long as you get that 200 OK, we're good to go. Now we're going to create the directory extension. Again, we're working with the object ID here of the app, not the app ID. And then this is /extension properties. Okay. This is a post. We're going to create this. Here's the JSON schema. Name, I'll do a new name. We'll do business type. That'll be the name of the extension attribute, just like how you would create custom on-prem extension attributes. We'll do type string, and then we're working with users here, not working with groups right now. And then again, we're going to paste in that bearer token. Make sure we're working with that bearer token. Headers, same. And then we can just go ahead and send that. And that failed, most likely because my token expired. So let me go ahead and paste in my token here. There it is, and now this should work. And it does. So there is our attribute, the ID here, and there it is. This is the name of it. This is what actually is going to be showing in Entra. So we actually want to cut. Well, we'll just copy the whole thing. You're only really going to be working with that name anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and paste that in my notepad. Oh my God. I got to wrap this. View, word wrap. Okay, sweet. So we got that. Now we have to apply this extension attribute to the user. So this will be a patch. Then you're going to do users. And I will paste in my Jane Doe user here. And this is a real easy schema. Sorry, I'm going to make sure I'm authenticated before I do this. Because, yeah, that was going to not work. Headers, same thing. Body is the name of the attribute. So we copy that name. Paste it there. And now this will add the attribute to the user. Okay, you'll get a 204 no content. That's fine. As long as we don't get any red over here, we are cooking with fire. Now to make sure that the user has the extension, we can pop over here. I'll have this in the description. I've said it 100 times, but I'm not going to say all that. But that's what you need. That's the endpoint you need there. And then we're just going to copy and paste that name again and place it at the end, and we should be able to get that extension attribute for that user. And my token expired again. This is great. Super fun. Where's that stupid ass thing? Okay. And there it is. So we have Jane Doe as a producer. Good to go. Now to actually utilize these and how we can use these, come over to groups. We're going to create a new group. You can create a new one or use an existing one and make sure it's dynamic. I'm going to get rid of this. And we're going to do custom extension properties. So click on that. And then you're actually going to paste in this time the app ID. So now we need to go get the app ID. Once we've grabbed the app ID, you just click Get Custom Extension Properties. Go ahead and paste that in there and then refresh properties. And then if you come over to property, choose a property, come down here, you're going to see your extension attributes. And now we can add that in, save it, and let's see if Jane Doe will be in here. Assuming she will be, since we set her to that, and boom. If you want to do this in bulk, it's going to require PowerShell scripting, and it's very inconvenient, and I'm annoyed that Microsoft can't just integrate extension attributes that are cloud only, or utilize the on-prem ones that we already have. I just don't get it, but whatever. This is what we have to do. Thanks, Microsoft. Have a good one.